Hello, welcome to another weekly installment of the market commentary as brought to you by Trade with Precision and AskCommentary.com. My name is Ryan Schofield, standing in for Nick MacDonald. So what have we got here, folks? It's been a very interesting week. We've broken out to new highs on the Russell. As you can see here on this monthly chart, we cleared out through this 850 area. Now this has been a target for us. Okay, we've been really watching this level with interest, to be honest with you. And we've finally gotten there. We've finally stuck our noses above a little peekaboo high above 850, and we're showing a little bit of signs that there's some kind of caution here. There's a bit of caution. You can see so far we're the first week in April. Little bit of rejection candlestick here. This is going to change. We've got a lot of trading to go in this month, so this candlestick is not going to stay like this for long. But it's interesting to see, possibly looking at the lower time frames like this weekly chart, what's actually happened at 850. You can see we've stuck our noses above that, and we're showing signs of a little bit of caution, a little bit of indecision coming in there, and that's evident by this little rejection candlestick that we've got here at 850. Okay, nice little. Some people call them hammers, some people just call them indecision. It doesn't matter really. It's the psychology behind price. We're showing signs of caution here, and that's not too much of a surprise. We've got a lot of people that have been buying down through these low areas down here, been trading up, buying in these accumulation areas, and they're looking to start to take profit at a structural psychological level. And where better is that than the big number, okay? The big number of the 850. So it's not surprising that on this weekly chart we're looking a little bit bearish at this current time after this week's trading. Let's have a look at the daily chart. The daily chart's actually looking good. From a trend trader's point of view, it's looking great. It's making higher highs, higher lows. We've broken out into a new high. We're pulling back into the moving averages. I mean, it's a trend trader's delight. Just buying pullbacks into these moving averages and waiting for the next potential setup. So, I mean, as far as the daily is concerned, this is still looking good. This is still looking good to the upside. Okay, let's have a quick look at some of the other indices before I tell you what my feeling is on the trading for the next coming week. Dow Jones, we've had an interesting week. We just did a little peekaboo high there. We broke out through that high that we formed back in the middle of Q1 2011. So we've just poked our head above. Look how tiny this little candlestick is. There's a lot of indecision here, folks. There's a lot of indecision going on right now, and that means that there's something going to happen now. Indecision, that is always the precursor to a nice potential move. And the fact that the Russell's poked his head up and started to show signs of failing at the new highs, there is a potential right now for a nice little snapback then. Okay, you'll be thinking, well, if there is indecision at this area, I'm watching to see if we break through the low of this last week's candle, then definitely a pullback down to 12,000 is seriously on the cards. If not, if we break through the high, I'm interested to see if we can actually start to push up to some clear air on the Dow. Okay, in the S&P is nothing really interesting to report there. However, the Nasdaq, I really want to report on that. And the one thing I find quite interesting here on the monthly chart of the Nasdaq is the fact that we're quite extended from the moving averages, and we're starting to show signs that there is a bit of a bearish note to it. Okay, especially on the daily, we're starting to show signs that we haven't broken out to new highs in this last move up. Okay, there is definitely a bit of weakness here, a little bit of bearish. I mean, this move here up to 2,400 is a break to a 10-year high. Okay, so this is some positive bullish trading. Taking a temporary pause. Okay, take a temporary pause, pull back to these moving averages, and wait for the next move up before we go up like that. Okay, so let's go back to the Russell now and see exactly how that ties in. Well, I quite find the fact that we've moved up on this monthly chart up to the clear air and we're showing signs of rejecting on the weekly chart quite interesting. Okay, we are definitely extended, folks, and we know markets need to pull back before they can make a positive, healthy next move up in the trend. Okay, you can see signs of it. Okay, this is some clear, nice signs of it. That back in 05, pullbacks into these moving averages all the way up, and it's just making a nice, steady trend. Okay, the trend obviously doesn't go on forever, so there are places where it will start to roll over, but that's what we're looking for. Pullbacks into the moving averages before the next move up. So we have to get something like that. We haven't had a proper pullback into these moving averages since July. Where is that? August, September last year. Okay, so it's definitely a cause for a pullback into these moving averages, okay, before the next move up. So I'll be very, very cautious to the upside right now because of where we are on the weekly chart, and I'm watching to see how we go with this rejection candlestick. Okay, if we show any signs of breaking down through the low of that, then I'm definitely looking at a sign of a pullback to either 800 or maybe even deeper, about 760. Okay, which is more evident on these higher time frames, but this is definitely going to offer some intraday plays, joining this nice little bearish trend if that occurs. The daily, however, is just not coming to the party. There's just no agreement with the high time frames. I can see a good call to short on the weekly chart, a good call to short on the monthly chart because it's overextended. But this daily chart just continues making higher highs, higher lows. It's just looking really, really good. There is a little bit of mess through here. This is the most recent high to this high right here. And you can see, yeah, the MACD and RSI aren't looking great. There is convergence, however, but it's just looking messy. It's not decisive in either way. Okay, so it's nothing. I'm not going to read anything into those indicators. So for the most part, I have a disagreement here on this daily chart. Okay, I really do, and it looks like it just wants to go up. It really does just look like it wants to continue up. So I'm going to be watching. I'm watching to see what happens inside this buy zone area. Are we going to get some nice indecisive candlesticks, say Monday, Tuesday? How is it going to form? And what price does. So this next week's quite interesting. Remember the trend changes on the lower time frames first, so you're most likely going to get a lower low, lower high on this daily chart before those weeklies or monthlies really start to show any signs of real bearishness. So I'm watching that, keeping my eyes on these markets. I'm more at this current time where we are now, because of the high time frames, I'm feeling a little bit more bearish than I normally am. I'm being bullish on these markets for quite some time now, as has Nick. So I'll be keeping a good eye on the markets for a potential opportunity that may come. Okay. All right, folks. Hopefully you enjoy this market commentary and you find it useful in your trading. Keep it safe out there. The markets are quite volatile. There are some interesting opportunities. We need to use our risk management approach and never risk more capital than we can afford. All right, folks. Have a good week and look to speak with you next week. Bye for now.